So we are moving on. We have completed our exploration of the 7 awakening factors, at least for now, and we're moving on to a review of the foundational practice of creating a holding environment for ourselves. For those of you who have been on the daily sit for some time, you know that we return to a review of the holding environment in between each major topic that we explore. I looked it up, and it's been since last August that we have talked about the holding environment. 10 months, and a lot of life has happened since then. I am sure we each have experienced particular challenges in our own lives, and certainly there are many we face in the world around us. And my hope is that we've weathered some of these challenges. And my guess is that we probably have felt knocked off balance by others. So it seems timely to remind ourselves how to ground and find steadiness in the very foundation of our practice. And the holding environment is that foundation. It's that important. Establishing a holding environment is about creating a space inside that's safe and warm and welcoming, no matter what shows up. And it sounds simple, but like so many things, it's not always that easy. We are a part of this culture that is so oriented towards striving and fixing and wanting. And even though we know the Buddhist teachings and we practice accepting things as they are, we still find ourselves going down these deep rabbit holes and ruminating about how things need to change, about how the world needs to change, or how our friend or partner should be different, or how we ourselves should be better, if only we tried harder. And what does that do for us but feed this sense of agitation and restlessness, disappointment, maybe even shame? Feelings that are so uncomfortable that we don't want to be present to them in our lives or on our meditation cushion. So we mask them or we push them away, rejecting this part of ourselves. I can say that I speak from recent experience. My husband has just had a complicated knee replacement surgery, and over the past months, I've been helping him in his recovery. In the first days after surgery, I was full of those good feelings coming from supporting his needs and feeling very connected to him and being very helpful. But I guess not surprisingly, as the weeks passed, caregiving became harder. I found that there were so many tasks to do around the house, and that he really wasn't making the progress we had hoped for after weeks of really hard PT. And despite trying really hard, all I kept thinking that I was not really living up to expectations of myself. I should be able to do this. And that filled me with frustration and disappointment and exhaustion. And my meditation practice, which usually is my solace, it felt incredibly restless and unsettled because I wasn't able to hold those feelings until I remembered. The practice of creating a holding environment is a whole paradigm switch. When we turn towards creating a relationship with ourselves, getting to know and holding ourselves just as we are, things can change. We can create a deep feeling of intimacy with ourselves, all of ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we all have those parts. And instead of being pushed aside, they need and want to be known and cared about without resistance. Our practice is intimate. We use words like holding ourselves close, feeling cherished or dear. And when we become intimate with ourselves, we do more than just observe what's happening. We see it and we care for our experience. We feel it and we hold it and support ourselves as if this was important, as if this was our one life. What do you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That's what Mary Oliver says. As we sit on the cushion and set up our practice here on the Daily Sit, we use words like relax, bring friendliness, find spaciousness, all to suggest the beginning of building the holding environment inside. But each of us knows that it doesn't last. The untrained mind doesn't stay, and we get taken away for a long period or a short period. It doesn't really matter. The key is the coming back, the returning. And if the mind returns to a present moment that is judgmental, cold, disappointed, why would it want to return or stay in such an unwelcoming place? And it doesn't. And it gets taken down another string of thoughts that may leave us even more agitated. So we have to create and recreate the holding environment through our practice over and over. A space that's welcoming, that we want to return to like our home. That's what we want, to feel more comfortable and at home in our bodies and minds and hearts. And it's not prescriptive or technical. I can't say do this and the sense of holding will be recreated for you. It's very personal and it's very creative. What relaxes your body and mind? What touches your heart? Play with it. Bring that forward and feel it. Get to know it. Maybe it's an image, a memory, a touch of your hands together, or even a hand over your heart. That's the beginning of the holding environment. That's how we get the heart involved and how we find warmth in our experience. In my own recent caregiving experience, I found that once I shifted my meditation practice to welcome and really care for these difficult feelings inside, things did change. I was able to more realistically reassess how I could continue to care for my husband and stay balanced inside myself. I ended up accepting more help from others so that I wasn't always so exhausted. And I created more time for myself, especially outside, both of which really helped. Building a relationship with ourselves that accepts and cares, it leads to a steadiness of mind that wants to stay present more often. And with that steadiness, we can explore more clearly our relationship with the external world. We can be present to ourselves as we interact with friends. We can notice what's happening inside as we read the news. we can feel what it is to be agitated. And then we have a better chance of acting accordingly, hopefully more skillfully. So I'd like to end with this poem that's called The Most Important Thing by Julia Fehrenbacher. She says, I'm building a home within myself, a sanctuary of kindness where nothing is judged and everything is allowed. A soft, quiet space bathed in sunlight where I can stretch out without rush or restraint. Here, all that I've buried, silenced, or pushed away finds its voice. It's spoken, heard, and finally released. This is my fiercely tender place, a refuge that belongs only to me. I'm opening my arms wide to every part of myself, especially the broken pieces, the fearful, the fault-finding, the unraveling, the unfinished. I know now that each fragment has purpose. Every seed, every weed, every drop of rain has nourished the soil of my soul, making it richer, deeper, alive. I will light a candle, pour a steaming cup of tea, and gather close to the warmth of my own blazing fire. If I need to howl, I will, unapologetically, freely. This flame is fierce enough to burn through any perceived problem, any suffocating perfectionism, any limiting lie, any weight that seeks to hold me down. I'm crafting a home inside myself where grace blossoms wildly, abundantly, where kindness grows like wildflowers, nurturing all the truest parts of who I am. Here, there is no exile, only acceptance. No shame, only belonging. And so I build this shelter not as an escape, but as a foundation, a place where I can always return, no matter how far the world takes me. Because here I am safe. Here I am whole. The author doesn't use the same words, but isn't she describing the internal holding environment? Can you feel it in her words? Let's practice. Thank you for your attention. So deep breaths, attention to the body, opening, relaxing, energizing. No part left out. Maybe lightly scanning down your body to find those places that need a little bit of attention. And as that feels complete, which you'll know yourself inside, slowly bring yourself to a posture of relative stillness. Just remembering that the stillness that we emphasize is so that we can really bring our attention inside without external distractions. so we can really embody what is going on in this moment. And let yourself settle. First, the body. On your seat. Inviting a sense of warmth and openness to your breath, to your heart space. And allow your mind to settle as well on the sensations that are present in this moment. Whatever the sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, irritating, light or heavy, welcome them all. And as we practice today, I'm just going to periodically drop in the beautiful words from the poem that I just read as reminders for us to return and reestablish our holding environment. Kindness. Refuge. Belonging. whole. Shelter.